Hello and welcome back to Off the Post. In today's episode, we'll be doing a keep versus sell for the Arsenal players in hope for them to win the league for next season. But as always, like, comment, subscribe. It is very much appreciated and it goes a long way in helping us build a community for my channel. All the recent support on YouTube, all the likes and the comments on social media as well. I can't thank you guys enough, and it's been absolutely amazing so far. So yeah, let's just get straight into the episode, shall we? This is a tier list based on the players we're going to keep, loan and sell for Arsenal next season in the hopes for them to win the Premier League. Obviously they've come so close in winning it for a good 2 seasons now, but they've just fallen at the final hurdle. So hopefully we can, give our thoughts on the Arsenal squad situation for them to potentially buy some new players in the summer. But yeah, let's just get straight into it, shall we? Let me just click the record button here and we should be on our way. Okay, so we are recording. So as you can see on the tier list, just a quick heads up, there are a few academy players on this list that I might not know the names of, or haven't particularly watched them in the Premier League, or they haven't really broke through in the Premier League just yet. So I probably will end up putting them on the loan list because, they're loan players, they're young players, sort of not really broken through into the Arsenal team just yet. So hopefully you guys won't give me a little bit of stick for that. Hopefully that'll be alright with you guys, because I think it's justified. A lot of young players do go on loan, don't they, to make their names for themselves. But let's just get on to the first player, and that is David Raya. Okay, that is an obvious keep for me because David Raya this season, and since he came through to that Arsenal team, has been absolutely amazing. He's been the key difference for them at the back, obviously alongside William Saliba and Gabriel as well. He's been fantastic. Kept about 10 to 13 clean sheets this season, I'm pretty sure. I always forget that number, but it's definitely double digits in the Premier League. David Raya, when you compare him to Aaron Ramsdale, he's miles ahead of him in terms of, shot stopping ability, parrying the ball out of the box, let's say, whether that's, his passing ability, picking out those midfielders, strikers, wingers as well. So for me, David Raya is going to be on the keep category. Moving over to the next player, and again it is William Saliba, we just mentioned just quickly. That is an obvious keep for me. For me, he's one of the best centre-backs in the Premier League, probably top 3 for me, alongside Virgil van Dijk and who else is there next? Pau Torres. No, okay, that's definitely not him. But yeah, William Saliba. What can we mention about him? Okay, he's a rock at the back, and he really does elevate Arsenal defence to make them top tier. And they've kept so many clean sheets. He's kept Arsenal in so many games this season, and his sort of recovering ability, his pace, his recovering ability, his ball retention, his passing skills. He's sort of got a little bit of everything, William Saliba, hasn't he? And for me, that is a guaranteed keep. Okay, pretty straightforward on this tier list so far. Moving over now to that is Kai Havertz. Okay, this is a little bit of an interesting one. He splits opinions in the Arsenal fan base, but for me, I think he does need to be kept because even though he's had a bit of injury problems this season, he does score goals for them. There's no denying that. He's got 9 goals and about 3 to 5 assists in the Premier League. So those goals are vital for Arsenal's team, and for me, I think he can be a good backup. Don't get me wrong, I don't think it's good to be a starting striker week in, week out, but, he's a very versatile player. He can play, number 9, he can play in the midfield as well. Maybe as a backup to Odegaard in there. We haven't seen it yet from Mikel Arteta, but that might be something he might try next season if he's got a, starting striker in there. But for me, Kai Havertz, he had a rocky start to his Arsenal career, don't get me wrong, he couldn't really do anything right for Arsenal just to begin with, but it does take people a little bit longer to adapt to the team, adapt to the Premier League and whatnot. So for me, Kai Havertz is another keep for me. Okay, moving over to Thomas Partey. Okay, again, this might be another keep for me. Even though he's out of contract, I feel like he offers so much to that Arsenal midfield that he can't let go, because he has his defensive prowess, okay, his ball recoveries, his passing ability, his defensive steal, his height, his presence in that midfield, and he also allows Mikel Arteta to play Declan Rice further forward if needs be in certain games. So for me, Thomas Partey, he brings a wealth of experience, and even though he's out of contract, I feel like he definitely does deserve a new contract, because we've seen in certain games this season he has been vital, and he has sort of got Arsenal out of holes at times. So for me, it's pretty much straightforward so far. All 4 players going into that keeper category. And again, we've got another one here with Bukayo Saka. There's no way in the world you would ever sell Bukayo Saka. If I was the manager, if I was the owner, I would never ever sell Bukayo Saka for whatever fee. He's got world-class ability, he's got world-class talent. He's just a world-class player for me. One of the best wingers in the Premier League. So for me, he has to be in the keep category. That is pretty straightforward because he probably is one of the first names on that Arsenal team sheet, isn't he? Week in, week out. He scores your goals. And even though he's had a few injury problems this season, and he hasn't probably had his best season overall, Bukayo Saka is definitely that world beater on the right wing who can get you out of trouble when you need a goal. He can score goals from nothing, he can create goals from nothing, and for that reason alone, he is in the keep category. Okay, 5 players on this list on the keep category, and I'm not going to lie to you guys, I don't know who this next player is because he's covering his face with his celebration. Please let me know in the comments who that is. Let me have a quick look. Okay, is that actually that might be Gabriel Magalhaes. I'm hoping that is Gabriel. Let me just have another quick look here. Yeah, I think it is. Okay, I'm gonna say it's him, but if I've got this wrong, this could be terrible. But again, Gabriel, the Brazilian centre back, this guy complements William Saliba perfectly. Okay, these two probably have the best defensive partnership in the Premier League. When you think about the defence, right, obviously William Saliba has the pace, he's got the passing ability, he's got the strength as well, but Gabriel, he's got all of that and maybe more this season. I think Gabriel has probably been a little bit better than William Saliba has this season, and he also adds goals to his game. He scores a lot of headers, Gabriel. He scores a lot of goals from the corner. I remember one period in the Arsenal season, right, where they were just scoring headers from the Brazilian centre-back, Gabriel. I don't know why, but Gabriel was just scoring goals galore at centre-back. It was fantastic. And you know what? His development over recent years has been fantastic to see, because again, I think he was one of those players where when he first joined Arsenal, it was looking a bit iffy. We didn't know whether he was going to find his form. We didn't know whether he was going to be a good Premier League player or not. But he's guaranteed to say now he is one of the best centre-backs in the league. So for me, that is another keep. There we go. Okay, moving over to the next player is Julian Timber for that right-back position. And this is another player that we need to keep. Even though he's had those injury worries this season, I think he's found his own in that right-back position. So we're going to put him in keep here, but I need to run through some of these players because the video is quite long at the moment. This might have to be a longer video, I'm not going to lie to you guys. Okay, Declan Rice is worth half the price. I thought that I was pretty much, I don't know why I keep saying that right, but I thought that was the song they sing, but apparently I got it wrong. I don't know. In the TikTok comments in the recent weeks, I was getting cooked in the TikTok comments, so let me know if that's a song they sing or not. I'm not too sure. But anyways, Declan Rice is vital to that, to why Arsenal have been fantastic this season, and he definitely is in the keep column for me. He is a world-class midfielder. Okay, moving over to another player now, it is Gabriel Martinelli. Now, for me, this might be our first sell category, just because I don't really rate him. I just don't this season. What has he done? He's been on the bench, or even if he does start games, he hasn't impressed me. It might be a little bit harsh to say, but he did once have, you know, like star world-class potential, but I just don't think he's reached those heights so far this season. I feel like he's digressed this season. Don't get me wrong, he's an all-right player. He will score your goal here and there, but the consistency of Gabriel Martinelli isn't there for me. So that's why he's going to be our first player on the sell list. Okay, moving over to Trossard. For me, Trossard is very infuriating because sometimes he scores your goals, sometimes he gets you assists, and then other times he doesn't. It's really annoying because the shots that he has on goal, the easy shots he has on goal, he should be scoring, but he doesn't. But then the hard shots he takes, he scores. It's a really weird one with Trossard for me. He's a good player, but could you get another player in there? I don't know. I don't want to sell him because I feel like he is a good squad player. So for that reason, I'm going to put him on the keep list, even though I think they probably could do better. Now, moving over to Martin Odegaard. For me this season, he's been a shadow of his former self. He hasn't done enough in the Premier League. He's also had a few injuries here and there as well, don't get me wrong. But for me, I think this has probably been one of his worst seasons in the Premier League. I would keep him just because when he's on form, when he is firing, he is one of the best players in that midfield. He does, you know, he picks up the ball from deep, he drives with the ball forward, he plays through balls to the wingers, to the strikers and whatnot. He does get a few goals here and there as well. He probably should score more goals with the quality that he provides. Don't get me wrong, but Martin Odegaard, you can't get rid of him, can you? You know, I don't think Arsenal have enough attacking midfielders in their midfield, so that's the reason why I need to keep Martin Odegaard. Now, Ben White, okay. For me, it's a bit of a tricky one with Ben White because when he first signed for Arsenal, he was fantastic. He was doing brilliant stuff at that right back position, playing that more makeshift right back in a sense because he was sort of broke through as a centre back, which is a little bit strange, but he was fantastic in that right back slot. But then there was a lot of talk where, you know, Julian Timber this season sort of came in and sort of overtook Ben White in that position. And I reckon both of these players, to some extent, Arsenal fans have sort of overhyped them both in that sort of aspect because, don't get me wrong, they're good Premier League players, but they're not like world-class talents, are they? For me, Julian Timber especially, I feel like Arsenal fans have sort of overhyped him a little bit to the extent of saying, you know, he's better than Ben White, even though Ben White was playing really well and was playing to the level of standard that Timber was last season. And I feel like now, just because Ben White's had a few injuries, they've sort of forget about his sort of role that he played last year. Because he definitely did help potentially push for the Premier League title, but just couldn't get over the line. I don't know about Ben White. It's a tricky one. I might sell him, you know. I feel like he probably could get somebody else better in that position. That might be a little bit harsh, but I'm not too sure. Moving over now to the third, Gabriel Jesus, okay, in the Arsenal squad. For me, it's a tricky one. The first, I don't know, 5 to 10 games when he first signed for Arsenal, he was looking like a fantastic player. He was looking like the striker that Arsenal needed. But again, it's just injuries after injuries after injuries. So for me, he is going to be on the sell list because he just can't stay fit. One of the main sayings in football is consistency is the best. That is not a saying in football. I don't know what the saying is, but you know what I'm trying to say. If you're not fit, what's the point? Okay? I think just moving on. I think moving on for his own sake. I feel like he needs to go to a club where maybe he's playing behind somebody else. Maybe he's a second striker to somebody else who, you know, doesn't really rely on him that much because, you know, Arsenal are missing a striker and Gabriel Jesus is just not the answer, isn't he? Unfortunately for him. Okay, moving on to another player. It is Ricardo Calafiori. Hopefully I've said his name right. I feel like, you know, it's a bit of a tricky one again for me because he hasn't been that impressive this year. He's only played a handful of games, you know, play that left back spot, not really play as a centre back, even though he can play in that area. But for me, Ricardo Calafiori, I would keep him just because it takes players a little bit longer to adapt, and hopefully next season we can really see him shine for Arsenal next season. Hopefully, anyways. Who's that player there? I'm guessing that is Mikel Merino. Hopefully I'm right. Maybe if I'm wrong, I've had a howler. Hopefully I don't. But Mikel Merino, I would definitely keep him. You know, it was one where, you know, fans were thinking, you know, what's his role in the squad? You know, he doesn't really add that much into that Arsenal midfield. And then when he transitioned into that false nine, once Havertz got injured, he was actually really, really good. He was scoring goals for days. He was scoring vital goals in big games as well. He was scoring headers. He was scoring volleys as well and whatnot. He was actually looking like a decent little false nine in there. And for me, I feel like he probably will transition back to that midfielder once the likes of Thomas Partey leaves, once Jorginho potentially leaves as well. I feel like he's going to leave to... He's linked to a Brazilian club. I think it's Flamengo, I'm pretty sure. Or Fluminense. Definitely said that wrong. One of the two teams in there. So for me, I would keep Mikel Merino because I feel like he's done better than a lot of Arsenal fans have expected. Moving over to another player now, I think that's Kiwior, the Polish centre-back. For me, he's a fantastic squad player and he will always remain a squad player under the influence of obviously William Saliba and Gabriel Magalhaes. You're never going to get into the Arsenal team ahead of him, and I feel like he's probably alright with that, I'm not going to lie, because he's getting a few games here and there, and I feel like he actually is a good squad player for Arsenal, and that's what Arsenal actually need. Somebody that's not going to kick up a fuss when he's sitting on the bench for a long time and whatnot, and he can, when he fills in for one of those two centre-backs, he always does a job for me. So Kiwior is going to definitely be in the keep category, because he's a decent player. When you think about some of the centre-backs that Arsenal used to have, like Mustafi, Socrates, all these types of players, they were rubbish. Let's have it right, they weren't good in the Premier League, were they? They just didn't suit the Premier League. They did good stuff in the Bundesliga and whatnot, and in La Liga, but, you know, the Premier League is a different ball game, and they just couldn't keep up the pace, unfortunately, and not for them. Okay, moving over now to Jorginho. This is going to the sour category because he's heavily rumoured to one of those Brazilian clubs like I already mentioned, so let's just move on quickly. Raheem Sterling again. He was only on loan, but I feel like let's just put him in the sour category because he was pretty much on the bench the whole season. He didn't really do anything. Let's just skip through some of these players now. Okay, Ethan Waneri, absolutely breakout star this season in the Premier League. Wild potential this guy has, and for me he's a backup player to Bukayo Saka now, and you know, when you look at their right winger position, it's pretty stacked, isn't it, for Arsenal? So for me, that is a keep, easy as you like. Lewis Miles Skelly, easy as you like, that's an easy keep as well. For me, they've got two star players in the making, two world beaters in the making, these two. I can't actually believe how well they've done this season. Okay, when you think about Arsenal, they've always produced some incredible players in their academy, and these two are another on the long list of incredible players came through the Arsenal academy. Zinchenko, this is another one we're going to have to sell, I'm afraid. Unfortunately, he just hasn't played enough, he hasn't made a big enough impact to that Arsenal team this season. Okay, this guy, I'm guessing this is like the third choice goalkeeper again. I did say academy players on the loan list, but we'll keep him for now. Okay, so this guy will go on loan because he's academy. This guy can go on loan because he's academy. This guy, let's keep him because I'm pretty sure this guy, I don't actually know his name. I feel terrible about this, but I feel like he's the youngest ever goalkeeper in the Premier League to make an appearance, I'm pretty sure, at the age of like 16 and I think 500 or 300 days or something like that. It's crazy, but it's fantastic. Who's this? Kieran Tierney. It's a hard one for me, but we're going to have to put him on the sell list just because, again, injuries. That's the key point. That's the key reason why I'm selling him, because he just can never stay fit. When he first played for Arsenal, he looked Premier League quality. He actually did, and I feel like he probably could go to another mid-table to relegation fighting Premier League team. I'm not too sure if he can just stay fit, unfortunately for him. I think he's rumoured to join the Celtic once again, go back to his former club, so hopefully he can find form wherever he does go, but it is looking more than likely that he will leave in the summer. So moving over to our next player, who's that? I don't actually know who these three are, so I'm just putting them on the loan list. There we go, moving over there. Okay, few players left. I'm going to try and make this as quick as I can because the video is quite long at the moment. Okay, so it's Tomiyasu. For me, Tomiyasu has to be sold again. He's a squad player, but hasn't really seen that much football this season. Obviously, he's a right back who can he's actually impressed me so far. Every time he's played, every time he's filled in that position, he's done really well for Arsenal, but I just feel like for his own career, he needs to move on. Who is this now? Reece Nelson again. It's the same thing, really. Hasn't really, you know, he's been at Arsenal for so long. He's been at Arsenal since he was a youngster, and he's never actually broke into the first team properly. And I feel like it's going to be similar to the Emil Smith-Rowe situation. I feel like he's just going to get sold in the summer just for his own career. I feel like he just needs to move on at this point, doesn't he? Reece Nelson. Okay, loan list again. All these academy players, I'm just putting them on loan list because I don't actually know who they are. Probably bad for me, but yeah, I don't know who that is either. Okay, Fabio Vieira. Okay, the Portuguese centre midfielder. Again, he's always just sat on the bench or he's out of the squad. I think he's just a little bit lightweight for the Premier League. I don't think he suits it at all. And for that reason, I'm going to put him on the sell list. Who's this here? Again, youngster. Is that Eddie Nketiah? Well, he's definitely been sold, hasn't he? He's been sold last season. I don't know why he's on the list. Okay, two players left here. We've got Neto, the Brazilian goalkeeper. I think he's got a weird stat role where he's only played one game this season, and that was against Girona in the Champions League. So for that reason alone, he's been on the sell list. Don't get me wrong, a good backup goalkeeper, but he should really be starting for one of those relegation fighting teams in the maybe if like a Leeds could get him, because you know Meslier, you know, a lot of Leeds fans aren't really rating Meslier these days, so I'm not too sure. Now moving over to the last player on this list, and that is the Portuguese left back Tavares, I'm pretty sure that's his name. He's been on loan to like Marseille and to a few different French teams here and there, I'm pretty sure. I know we went to one French team. He's actually really impressed for them in France. So I think like he has to go on the sell list for me, because you're just not going to get a look in that left back position. They've got too many left backs, Arsenal. They've got Luis Miles Skelly, they've got Ricardo Calafiore, they've got who else can play there. Probably one or two other centre backs that can fill in that position as well. So for me, Tavares isn't going to get a look in, and for the sake of his own career, they need to sell him. They can probably make, what, 15, 20 million off him, I'd probably say. So yeah, for me, decent little price there. Right, this is my tier list for the keep versus sell Arsenal players for next season, in the hope they might win the Premier League for next season. Let me know what you think in the comments. Who would you keep? Who would you sell? Are you happy that I've put all the academy players in the loan just because I don't really know who they are? I do apologise if these are some absolute breakout stars as well. But yeah, what do you think about Martinelli leaving? What do you think about Ben White? Is that a little bit surprised that Ben White's in there? For me, I just feel like you could probably get like, what, 40, 50 million for him. If he's injured for most of the season, could you get somebody that's a little bit more reliable in that position? Maybe you could. Would you sell Gabriel Jesus? What do you think about, you know, who are the star players for Arsenal, okay? Is it William Saliba? Is it Declan Rice? Is it Bukayo Saka? And yeah, those are all my questions. But yeah, as always, like, comment, subscribe. It's very much appreciated. And yeah, I just want to quickly say a massive thank you guys for watching my videos, showing all the support, liking, comments. I can't thank you guys enough. So I will see you guys in the next video, and peace out.